welcome to the fourth RLIGOLF podcast of 2018. You're listening to PGA professionals Jordan Cook and Ryan Ingram. If you tuned in over the last few weeks, you will know that we will be releasing one podcast per week, talking about everything from swing tips to random day-to-day activities. In this week's episode, we're going to have a roundup of this month's golf and who has already put themselves in good positions for a pick in this year's Ryder Cup. So let's get started. 2018 was kick-started by a fantastic win by Chris Paisley down in South Africa. He beat Brandon Grace by 3 shots, which I think was a fantastic performance against a local lad in front of his home crowd. You know what I mean? I just think to kind of hold up and win by 3 shots under that kind of pressure is pretty impressive, given that he's not won on tour before. He's been close there and thereabouts, but finally he got the kind of deal sealed. Yeah,
just what Jordan said. I mean, Brandon Grace, obviously his own crowd there as well, and all of them supporting him. So for Chris to kind of battle off that
great
support
player as well. I mean, he's had some
continue.
fantastic results himself, Brandon Grace. So
yeah,
I think that was a great way to start the season, which is almost kick-started the season from the off, basically, because
this was followed by another strong performance in finishing Abu Dhabi, where he finished in 5th place, and another good prize pot for him as well.
I know. So tied 5th with Peters, so
and
Thomas
Levy,
Peters, Alexander Levy, which I think great players, great European players. I mean, worldwide players.
I mean, McIlroy, Fitzpatrick
finishing in 3rd.
Yeah, and then you got Fleetwood.
Won again, so he's continued his impressive form from last year. A bit of a shame, I feel, for Ross Fisher finishing in 2nd place, because Fisher's went a few years without a win, I think. I'm pretty sure he hasn't won in a while. I mean, he's been up there in plenty of events, but kind of won in the past.
He's kind of had a few years on the low, hasn't he?
Yeah, but it's good to see that his
picked back up. His game's looking strong, and I think he could win this season again.
Definitely. I watch him hit balls at close house and hits it long. He's a big lad. I mean, he gives it a canny whack, you know what I mean? So he gets it out there. But yeah, Fleetwood took the win by 2 shots. But the biggest kind of talking point is Dustin Johnson. Everybody is expecting him to rip the field up. I mean, fantastic player. Finished tied 9th, but there's pretty much everybody above Dustin Johnson was a European player. Fair dues is on the European tour, but it goes to show if they can fend off world number 1, it puts us in good stead for this year's Ryder Cup, which we'll get on to talk about later on in the
Looks
the
like
podcast.
We've got a strong team, haven't we?
Yeah, so I mean, again, it's reflected by this week's finish, or this week's event in Dubai at Emirates Golf Club, which Ryan's actually played. We're seeing, I'm trying to think who finished up there. Tyrrell Hatton finished in 3rd. Alexander Levy again up there, finishing 4th place. Chris Paisley again, finishing 5th.
Yeah, another good position for him.
I know, exactly.
Had a solid
start of the season. Finished 1st, tied 5th and 5th. So pretty good. That actually takes his winnings to 430 grand.
I just hope he continues his good form and possibly has another win this season, because he does
deserve it. Yeah,
with the form that he's proven over the last 3-4 weeks, he's just been solid, hasn't he?
Anybody who doesn't know Chris is actually a local lad. He's from Hexham, just outside Newcastle, so he's Northumberland lad from up north. So obviously we're going to be rooting
of course,
all the time. But McIlroy finished in 2nd place to Hao Tong Lee. I think he won by 1 shot. Yes, he won by 1 shot. So, I mean, great playing from Hao Tong Lee. First Chinese player to ever make it into the top 50 in the world, which is very impressive.
Yeah, he was in 60th place, wasn't he, when he won their event? So it's kind of brought him into the top 50 to winning that event. Yeah.
I mean, getting into the World Golf Championships, I think, is absolutely unbelievable, because top 50 get into WGCs, and the prize funds in them events are quite crazy,
phenomenal,
to be honest, which is good for
some big money in them
good
events.
For his caddy, who's also a local lad, Michael Burrows. He played at Northumberland Golf Club when I was there as well, so pleased for the both of them. It's good to see local lads doing well
on the European tour. I mean, it's a big stage of golf, and
it's a nice prize fund for the both of them, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, caddies, what do they get? 10%, something like that.
So whether it was 300 grand, it's not bad.
It's nice little earnings for a few days' work.
But again, obviously, I think everybody thinks that caddy's got an easy job. It must be just grueling out there. I mean, they're out there as long as the players, and they're going out on the Tuesday, Wednesday of the week. It's 4, 5.5 hour rounds, and in the blistering heat. I mean, there's worse jobs to be doing, it's great pay, but I think you often only see the rewards that they're reaping, not the sacrifices that they have to make.
Caddies do everything for the players.
Yeah, I know. So
they're like a servant, really.
I know.
And
so
they should get well paid for it.
Exactly. They deserve every penny.
Yeah, I mean, they're travelling unsociable hours, and it is the job role.
Which is why it's so nice when you see the lads who haven't won. I know Houghtonley's won before, but when you see Paisley win, and obviously when he won, his wife was on the bag, so she would have got a paycheck either way.
I bet she didn't.
But I mean, tied 5th, obviously good for the player, also good for the caddy. Sees that relationship working well, even if results haven't been going their way. As soon as they start getting a couple of good results under the belt,
there's a lot of pressure on the caddies, not just the players.
Exactly.
The players have obviously got to perform, but it's the caddies that are putting the club in the hand, giving them the yardage, calculating everything that goes in each round.
I mean, the amount of money that they play for, it's having the reassurance in your caddy that they know what they're talking about. They need to reassure you that you're good enough to pull off the shot that you're playing is the right shot, and the club that you're hitting is the right club for that distance.
So my caddy Walter, if you're listening, bear this in mind. All right, you could be wearing yourself 10% this year if you do a good job. So that now leads us on to the PGA Tour, and the first tournament of the year in 2018 was a Century Tournament of Champions, which saw Dustin Johnson continue in impressive form by making an 8-shot victory over second place European Tour player John Ram, which has had a fantastic season.
Yeah, he's now world number 2, isn't he?
World number 2. And he could have actually went to world number 1 if he saw a victory
last week.
So, and he nearly had it.
I know.
He done quite well over 3 days and just didn't quite capitalise on it. But fantastic achievement in the first professional season last year.
Yeah.
Obviously on to 2018 now, and it's just only started. So
world number 2. You've seen guys who've been about for years and years never make it to that kind of level of golf that he's been playing over his first few years. But probably one of the biggest talking points of that event, again, was Dustin Johnson winning by 8 shots. But he nearly had a hole-in-one and a par 4, which was like perfect advertising for TaylorMade and their new drivers.
New M3 driver. Twist face technology. Slightly hit it out of the neck, but still went 430 yards. So let's hope they do well in my bag this year.
Hope for much the same.
Yeah. Why not?
Exactly. The tournament after that was the Sony Open in Hawaii. That was actually forced to a playoff between Patton Kazare and James Hahn, and the former took the title in the playoff. But the prize fund of that event, which I'm quite surprised at, was $6.3 million. And
that was a small event for the PGA Tour.
It's just crazy. It's like double the money of what the European Tour players are playing for. So,
and this is the reason the guys in Europe want to be playing over and trying to get into the PGA Tour.
Exactly, I know. So that was...
I don't blame them, to be
fair. I know, exactly. Imagine playing for $6.3 million, obviously, every week, but still not a bad conversion rate.
This is what I think the European Tour struggle with, getting players sometimes in tournaments.
I know.
But at the same time, it's kind of... America's massive.
I know, exactly.
Is it going to ever compete? But Europe, you're on a scale, you've got quite a few countries in there, so... But it's just a sponsorship, isn't it?
I know, and obviously it's so easy for us to talk about how well the Europeans are doing, but I hold my hands up to this. I don't see that much of the PGA Tour golf. Obviously, it's on quite late. Yeah. So these lads who are probably knocking good scores in every week, I don't catch them. So hearing a name like Patton Kazare, I'm sure he's won or finished well before.
Yeah.
But for us to comment on it,
I think kind of never heard of him.
Exactly, I know. But there was that funny one on the TV from a clip in the PGA Tour event. The commentator said, this would be a Hollywood story if Alex Noren could win out here in America, when obviously the guy didn't know how good Noren was.
Yeah.
It's kind of like how. But again...
There's so many good players trying to good golf ball now, isn't there? I mean, look at the European Tour last week, 60th place against McIlroy, kind of up his backside. That's the beauty of golf.
I know.
Anyone could win. It's just on the day. You don't have to be kind of world number 1 and control the whole tournament. It's anyone's game, really. All you got to have is 4 good days.
4 good days. Bit of luck, maybe.
Bit of luck always involved, even with the likes of world number 1 and the players up there. But which brings us to the Farmers Insurance Open, which was the first tournament of Tiger Woods, which saw Tiger grind out a second round to make the cut and birdie the last hole to make the cut, which was impressive. 70 feet he had, and he just put it within 1-2 foot. I mean, his distance control all week with his putter was phenomenal, to be fair. Couple of kind of what he was speaking about was his feels. So the connection to his body and club weren't totally there for his shots that he probably doesn't practice on the range.
Well, it's understandable.
But of course,
if he hasn't been playing that much golf.
That'll only come with playing golf in tournament conditions, because when the pressure's on,
totally different.
And you've got to make them birdies. It's totally different to a practice environment. So he finished 23rd with a 3 under total, which we can say
is pretty good.
Yeah, he's had a successful first tournament of 2018, and I just hope he continues. He looked fit. I didn't think that he was going to be playing the whole of 2018 season, but I think he's going to choose his events still. But I think he's going to stay fit through all. Let's hope, because I hope he's back, and I hope he continues to work towards them extra majors.
I know it's just great for the game of golf. I mean, everybody tunes in when they hear Tiger's playing. I mean, not that they don't tune in already, but he's definitely it definitely pulls people to the TV screens, and it's just good to see him playing better golf or scoring better golf, and hopefully he plays a bit more golf, because I think that's maybe obviously alongside with other things, injury and stuff like that. But if he can stay fit, play some golf, I'm sure he'll do well this year.
It brought me to the screen. I mean, like you say, staying up late at night when these PGA Tour tournaments on, I wouldn't bother unless Tiger Woods was playing.
Exactly.
Which last week when I was watching, I did. Just to see him play again and see how he performed. But swing looks, he needs to kind of have a look at his swing a little bit. Wayward drives again, but that's just standard Tiger.
Exactly.
So we'll see how he gets on in the 2018 season.
Unfortunately, a poor final round of 2 over par seen Justin Rose fall to 8th place. So he was in a good position going into the final day, but I seen a picture on Instagram of him kind of like letting the club go as he swung, and with a comment saying, "Oh, the wind got the better of me today." So it just goes to show it can't happen to the best of them. And if it does happen to you when you're playing your Sunday, Saturday rounds of golf, don't worry about it, because it happens to the best of them. If it happens to the best of them, it could happen to you. The tournament was forced to a 5-hole playoff between Jason Day, Alex Noren and Palmer. That resulted in a victory for the Australian Jason Day. So that was good to see Noren up there in the playoff. Palmer, I think, actually dropped out after the first couple of holes because he made par to their 2 birdies. So great to see a European tour playing well against the Americans on the PGA Tour, playing for those big prize funds. And again, it goes well for Europe, basically. And I think that leads us on to the next topic of Ryder Cup 2018 at Le Golf National in France, Paris.
Yeah. Looks fantastic course, doesn't it?
Looks like a great course.
They played it last year in a European Tour event, and
Fleetwood won.
Yeah,
that was
we all enjoyed the course, which is a good plus side. So, kind of, what's your pick?
I mean, at the minute, obviously, we'll not get ahead of ourselves and say, "Oh, I want Paisley to be in the team," but he's 4th in the race to Dubai, so God knows if he keeps up the season, he's going to have to force a pick for himself, you know what I mean? But again, you've got to go for the obvious. Well, the obvious for me would be McIlroy, Stenson. I mean, Rose has been playing well. Poulter's had a good last season, and he's played well in Dubai this week.
Poulter's always a good one to have in the team, though.
Yeah.
If you can kind of build up on some form, then possibly he'll get in the team.
Kind of see him as a captain, maybe he's vice captain if he doesn't get a pick. And I'm trying to think.
I think there's too many better players than Poulter now, which will kind of get into the team.
I haven't said the obvious one. Obviously, world number 2, John Rahm.
Yeah,
it kind of went straight over my head there. We did just talk about it, but I think you've got 3 definites there in McIlroy, Stenson, and Rahm, and then it's just a case of the other lads fighting. I think Fleetwood's another definite. because he's won the Race of Dubai last year. He's top of it this year. Obviously, it's only been 3 events. But
we've got Alex Noren as well.
Noren again.
Up there against the Americans as he tries to develop his place over there on the PGA Tour against them boys.
So, Ryan, who would you like to see in the 2018 Ryder Cup European team?
Yeah, I think there's a couple you haven't mentioned there. Obviously, them are kind of the obvious ones that we would pick. And hopefully, like you said, we'll see Chris Paisley make the team.
Yeah, great.
Continue his strong performance. But I think Thomas Pieters, Ryder Cup last year, he done very well for the team. I think, again, strong performance. He's in the team this year. And there's Alex Levy.
Yeah, French lad, obviously playing well last couple of weeks, and obviously
home country as well.
Home country as well, yeah.
Could be a good shout with these fans.
But a point on Thomas Pieters, him and McIlroy kind of gelled really well last year, I think.
Both, yeah, they did.
I don't know. You just don't know what actually causes people to actually play well together. But they seem to have like a good partnership there together. So I would like to see that as well. So
and then you got Tyrrell Hatton, good solid year last year, and you kind of can't write him off for being in the team.
Exactly.
In 2018.
Good start to this year as well.
Yeah.
Last couple of events.
Yeah, he's been up there, hasn't he? So, again, continuing that performance, I think he's in with a good shout. Definitely one of the picks.
Yeah.
If he doesn't kind of make it automatically into the team. You've got Andy Sullivan in there as well, which could be a shout. Good pick.
He didn't do great last year, but I mean,
he's quite solid.
Exactly. Yeah. We missed out Fitzpatrick as well.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick.
So it's. I mean, as you can see, as the players kind of come to you in your head, you think actually we've got a very good chance this year. But that kind of leads us on to the American team in.
They're strong as well.
Yeah, you Dustin Johnson, you got Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas, Zach Johnson.
Will Tiger make it into the team?
Will Tiger make it into the team?
Will he be back?
He's going to be another one of those where if he doesn't make the team, probably a vice captain too.
Yeah, I think in the last Ryder Cup he was happy being that role model for the lads, wasn't he? The younger lads. I don't know if he would take a spot, but depending on his performance,
you never know.
He loves to play.
I mean, he plays so good in the Bahamas. Yeah. He absolutely knocked it out of the park, and he was hitting it really good. So again, like I said before,
that's when he had a coach.
Exactly.
That's how important a coach is, guys.
So it is so important to be getting lessons. I mean, by no means am I telling Tiger Woods what to do, but if you put 2 and 2 together, you hit it well with the coach. You're now hitting it not great with the coach. So maybe have a little think about that. And I'm sure that we've missed off a few good players.
You got Ricky Fowler.
Ricky Fowler again. I mean, the other one that you'd immediately think, Bubba Watson, but he's fell to outside the top 100 in the world golf ranking, so it's kind of like he's had a slow couple of years, but hopefully kind of see him do well. I think he's another one who's good for golf. He draws the crowds there. So
definitely with his pink golf balls and his pink driver.
So pulling them.
Yeah, I think that finishes us up for today and gives you an insight of what's happened in the last month on the PGA and European tours, and obviously an insight to what we think the team would be for the Ryder Cup in 2018. Let us know if you're going. Follow us on our social media platforms at RLIGolf, and don't forget, guys, subscribe to our podcast so you can have weekly updates and information on how to improve your game. So let's make your swing perform better, and until next time, bye for now.